We'll see if they...
Maybe I'll log in and gift a sub.
Okay. Now the stakes have been raised. We'll see if they get it.
Everyone's just saying no anyway.
Nope.
Everyone's just saying no.
Nopers.
Raz is trying.
Zed mid, Rumble top.
But he's wrong. Jungle. He said fiddlesticks. All right, we're out.
Well, Zed was also not in the game, so Raz is not doing so hot there.
How can you ever tell with Zed, though? You know, the shadows, and he's very tricky, dude.
That is true.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're blasting through picks and bans here. Hopefully, going to get through this very, very quick. These two teams, of course, are pretty close in the standings, but the expected win is definitely TL. We'll see if Shopify can take a win, though, and kind of throw things into a little bit of chaos as we come towards the final games of this positioning phase here. Of course, we are deciding who will be in which group for the best of threes that are going to be starting next week. And then, of course, for the rest of the split, it's all going to be best ofs. We're going to have best of threes throughout that group stage, starting next week. And then we're going to be going into a limb, best of 5 playoffs.
I'm excited for that.
So we're going to get a lot of Fearless. Our first true taste of Fearless, I feel like, is going to be this playoffs, because we only had the one best of 5 last split, and it was a 3-0.
Yeah. We said we were fearless, but we had a little fear in us.
We were scared
still.
of Game Force.
In our heart of hearts, we were a little scared.
We didn't see any Game Force.
But this time, we're going to be
surely in a double limb playoffs, it's not 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0.
Surely.
It couldn't possibly be.
Definitely no chance. All right, look at that full draft. Who got it right? Was it Bench Ape?
It says Timo top, and we got Sona.
Oh man, some of these
person just started listing random champions.
Some of these Twitch names, I don't. No, we can't say those.
Some of these guesses have many more than 10 champions, and so those already are not going to be correct. All right, well, TL going to be coming on in again. It is going to be the first time we've actually seen CoreJJ on the Neeko. And Impact going to be busting out the Galio here, so that should be fun to see.
It does, and it also gives us the chance. Everyone loves to judge, every time it's your first champion, or first time playing a champion on stage. So everybody out of 10 will be judging CoreJJ Neeko here, and that will follow him forever.
Pop quiz, how many games of Galio do you think Impact has?
4.
11.
Well, okay. I was too conservative.
You were too conservative. But,
way too conservative.
He's doing pretty well. He's got a 63.6% win rate there on it. Impact has played for a long time. I wonder if it's even like the modern Galio, if it's like old Galio, or, so who knows? But we are in the game. We are kicking it off. Third game of the day here. Second day of Super Week. We are here on a Sunday. Remember, we're going to be back tomorrow as well for more games on Monday to round out the positioning phase here.
I'll see you there or here.
That's true. There and here.
In the future, in the same location, though. Well, we'll see what goes on in the early game here, because Palafox is heading down with the duo lane.
Yeah, maybe just...
There is a ward, so they went for the early ward in Brush.
Good luck, have fun. Round 2. Who won the first game? Was it a tie?
It's whoever got out of the broken lobby first. Whoever got all of their players
Whoever's
out.
top 4, according to the graphic.
Well,
so it's 11-0 is the combined record of FlyQuest, C9, TL, and 100 Thieves versus Lion, Shopify, DSG, and Dig. Not a win on the board yet, and we are getting down to the end of it. We only have 6 more games remaining, and some of those are going to be top teams versus top teams, of course. This is the closeness stats, though. This is what I was talking about. Versus C9 and Fly, they were very, very close here, even late into the game. About 27 minutes in, dead even versus C9 versus FlyQuest. About 30-ish minutes, 29 minutes, whatever. They were actually still up gold. They had that one kind of swing back where they were able to get a slight advantage, but they weren't able to close out any of those games. They're running out of chances, so we'll see if they're going to be able to do it here against TL.
All right. CoreJJ so far on his first stage game, Neeko, looking good to me. Got some damage here. Abused the level 1 Alistar before Alistar can do anything about it.
I mean, Core is definitely a really flexible player. It's always interesting because, like, myself included, everyone kind of talks a lot about how you like him more on engaged champs and how important he is for the team. But it's not because he can't play the other styles. It's just because he's been so core to what TL needs.
And luckily for him, Neeko is both a lane dominant poke champ as well as an engaged champ for them for later, so he can be that main shot caller.
Impact just went in there and actually missed on the E, so doesn't proc the Aftershock, misses out on the spell damage, and then takes a lot of damage there from Fudge on the return with that Conqueror. And this is kind of what happened when Bwipo was playing the Rumble against Licorice. Licorice went in for an aggressive E. Bwipo was able to kind of backstep it, then overheat, and really run him down. So Impact definitely has to be careful. Even though you do get Prio in this matchup, you have the magic damage shield, there's all these nice little things, you have great wave clear. If you overstep, you can get punished.
Definitely can. We saw it in that game. It was brutal too, because Licorice also flashed at the end, so dying and losing the flash, critical in that matchup. Impact here hitting that Justice Punch. I'm
going to be able to get a nice trade there. Fudge actually really low, so will likely be going back to base as Yeon is in a lot of trouble. Yeon almost just gets ran down as Contractz made an early trip down towards the bot side. We didn't see the start of that, but we can see missing flashes for Seos and Contractz, and the Ignite was used, and the flash off of Bvoy. They do get the summoners off Yeon, but he lives, and now Fudge has stayed around. Can they set this up? UmTi is up here. He is level 4. Fudge does cancel the recall.
They need UmTi to tank the tower because he can drop it with his W, so then they can finish off Fudge.
All right, here we go. We're going to see if UmTi can start it up. He is going to pull aggro. Nice flash, avoids the taunt. They're going to be going back in, and Fudge does get knocked down, and they get out. Contractz now, though, can threaten the Hex Flash. They can double Hex Flash over the wall here. Are they going to actually go for the double Hex Flash play and look for one onto APA? APA is playing respectfully, though. He's playing up towards the top side. I think he would have to be below the tower for them to go for it, but they're going to go for it anyway. Nice flash out, responding to the play from APA, and now UmTi is here. That's pretty spicy from Shopify. The double Hex Flash over the Raptor.
They're not done yet. UmTi wants it.
Now UmTi going in on Contractz. Contractz has no flash, and he's gonna get chopped in half by UmTi. And Palafox chunked low as well. He's gonna be sent back to base. This is an amazing start for TL.
And an amazing start for UmTi on Naafiri. He had a pretty good game last.
Got that dog in him.
He's got all 5 dogs. You see the little mini ones too. He had a good, Naafiri game last time around, but this one is gonna be a really good game with 2 early kills on this champion. You can go insane. Eclipse is a very cheap early item. You can rush it, and then you will dominate at grubs. You will dominate
multiple senses.
Yeah. Very cheap. So is the champion because you see there, used very easily. You use your first Q, and then he W's to get all the bonus damage for the second one that has all the execute. And this is always what you have to think about as a jungler. If you're going to gank mid, especially if you did not full clear and you're only level 3, if you go gank mid and you're soaking tower shots, you have to worry about your path afterwards because the enemy jungler just showed top in a successful dive on your top laner. So UmTi very intelligently moves over to counter after the long attempted play from Shopify towards mid lane. And yeah, it's cool to do a double Hex Flash, but like you were saying, they actually took a long time to do that play. And this is one of the things with Shopify. Sometimes when they decide on a play, they take a very long time to actually do it, especially some of these early game ones, and it leaves an opportunity for some of these top 4 teams to then punish the play afterwards. UmTi did just that, and we'll see if they're able to get the Naafiri under control afterwards.
APA is scrapping pretty well here with Palafox. Actually comes out on top as CoreJJ going to be able to interrupt the recall there. Great ulti from APA. He just hit 6 as Contractz comes in here. And again, it is UmTi in the area. Contractz now down a level is going to be in a tough spot if he actually runs into UmTi in the jungle. And UmTi's going to be over the wall there, going to be able to take this down very quickly. So Contractz not likely to be able to get any of the camp whatsoever, besides maybe a mini Krug, but not even that likely. And Contractz is going to get pushed out of his own jungle. And at the same time, the root landing there from the Neeko, not able to finish off Palafox. He does flash back. I'm assuming that CoreJJ entered as a minion or something there because he didn't flash, was able to get the root down, are able to push down Palafox. And TL are just winning out everywhere because UmTi steals the jungle, goes over to the Grubs here. They win out in mid lane. They push out Fudge in top lane. They're winning bot. This is looking so good from TL.
Yeah, and Contractz knows, this Naafiri champion, Shopify were ones with really high priority on it early in the split, running 2 games of it, and he was the one going for all these invades. So he knows to definitely give respect. And here we go. There is the minion CoreJJ. He gets in line. He's actually kind of doubles up with the other ranged minion there, but it's fine because it gets all the way up and hits the root. So we talked about, all right, CoreJJ, first game of on-stage Neeko, and so far, it's looking like a
Completely
8 out of 10?
well. Knows he can turn into a minion. That's another check.
Yeah, looks good.
Yep. Check, check.
You know, the cool ones are always when people have, playing against some sort of champion that has a champion-only interaction, and then you turn into a minion when they try and trade on you, or, to abuse their runes that only proc on champions. Because the game really does count you as a minion for the purposes of like runes and items and champion kit interactions when you do that. So it's always cool to see those little things used with the kit.
I've seen it against like Sejuani ult and stuff, which doesn't hit on minions. You can turn into a minion, just flies right past you, and you can actually turn into the Naafiri dogs, the little dogs as well.
Yeah, just go walk around with UmTi.
Yeah, we'll see if he can blend in.
If
the pack accepts him, or if he'll be rejected. Contractz going to be able to try to take down the big raptor there.
It's hard to catch chicken. So I have spent some time on a farm, and it's kind of fun to like wrangle them, go around trying to chase them. I've been there, Contractz. That chicken's those things are slippery.
Oh, APA going to get tagged from downtown by Bvoy. Palafox not getting that much damage off of with it though.
But they did hit everything.
That's everything. That's a plus.
Accurate.
Yeah. Caught that chicken.
Got that chicken. It's also, too, there's a lot of Zelda games where you have to go catch chickens. But
that's true. So old Zelda games, goated.
Very, very goated. Meanwhile, we got to check back in on this Naafiri that got such a strong early lead. I mean, it's over 1,000 individual gold lead for Mr. UmTi. And once he goes back to spend, I believe he's just saving up enough gold to just one-shot the Eclipse by. So just finish up clearing his bottom side, and then after you reset, his next reset, he will come out prowling and just looking to fight anyone on the map. So will be a scary time there for Shopify. They're gonna have to give over some priority.
Like right now, he's like one of those cute Pomeranians, but he's gonna come back like a giant Rottweiler or something. A lot more intimidating.
Never underestimate the Pomeranian because
bad experiences.
They can,
pointy teeth.
Yeah, they can be dangerous too, buddy. He still has not gone back to buy, so he doesn't care. Gonna go finish up the or at least start up the dragon.
If they get challenged though, because Contractz is coming over, and Contractz actually has more combat stats right now, even though UmTi is like over 1,000 gold ahead because he has bought. And they are going to be looking for this. They are going to get pushed back by the Shock Blast. Doesn't connect. Seoul has been chunked out quite a bit, though. And now TL looking like they have a pretty good angle. Contract's going to whiff on the ulti, and it's going to get poked down, and that should be enough to gain TL the dragon. Nice attempt from Shopify, but can't find an angle.
And so I'm looking at UmTi's gold the entire time. He has 2,000 gold in inventory while that fight is going on. But yeah, if the Poppy ult does not hit anyone, that is your biggest tool for this dragon fight. So as they're like walking back towards the Tri-Brush and the annoying slow from the dragon attack is going off, Shopify cannot contest it there. And now, not only did he get Eclipse, but his tier 2 boots. Crazy cooldown reduction as well for this champion. Biggest power spike in the game by far. No question about it. Let's see what he can do.
He's definitely looking strong. Does have the ulti available here. Fudge is going to be spotted out. Looks like UmTi wants to try to get in there. We'll see if he can actually take him down in the 1v1 and how heavily he's going to commit to it. Impact trying to get in there. They are able to force out the flash immediately. And Fudge trying to run, but not long for this world. Going to be taken by the winds of war as they claim the feet of warfare. Impact grabs it, but it's UmTi doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah. When we knew, as soon as he comes back, you spend a bunch of money. Okay, another root lands. A little bit of chunk there in mid lane too, but nice stuff there from UmTi. Immediately going and using his power spike before the grub spawn so that they should be able to get this grub full 6-pack. Unless Contractz wanted to blast cone over, smite one, and then flash out, which would be a high investment just to deny the full 6 grub. Plus, it'd even still be probably pretty hard getting out of that alive because there's a lot of ability to follow for TL, so doesn't even want to try that. And TL with this ginormous lead centered on the Naafiri still.
I mean, 6 grubs when you are already behind feels so tough to play into because it's so difficult to actually defend the towers. Then all of a sudden they're getting more plate gold as well. And Fudge up here on that top side has no flash, so has to play pretty safe. Impact down towards that bottom side has the Hollow Radiance completed, so now your wave clear is really
winding up the
strong.
punch.
Going to be going in. Does hit the taunt, not the Justice Punch, but going to get a nice little chunk down anyway. And as you see, you can kind of just like insta-kill the waves with your passive because you get that nice little pop that does come out from the Hollow Radiance. But I feel like TL have just done such a good job of preempting any plays, because every time I feel like we see Seos on the screen, he's getting rooted by CoreJJ and he's losing half his health. And then it feels like they just don't even want to try to go for these engages. And now UmTi down towards this bottom side is going to get eyes on Palafox, but won't commit to it. Contractz is coming in now, but he doesn't have eyes on it to him, and he's going to get interrupted on the dash. He's trying to get back towards the tower. Impact's actually tanking up the tower now because of the burn, and the Ashe arrow comes in from downtown, and it's going to get them the kill. Can they get a second? Palafox flashes forward. It is going to force the flash from UmTi in retreat, but they did not see Contractz coming in. He was hugging the wall there, stayed out of vision for so long, and then Impact tanking the tower in that spot really hurt him.
That was very fortuitous timing for Shopify Rebellion. Also hitting the Ashe arrow to ensure they can get at least one of those shutdowns. It's desperately needed. It does not equal a comeback or anything like that, but it was certainly desperately needed to slow down the control that TL have built here. So much welcome golds, and Contractz does have at least the Sundered Sky done, but still no boots and still going to be in the hole quite significantly. Still, I mean, the kit of Poppy, just the pick itself is so good against this comp, so maybe we will see some value here.
Doesn't
maybe
require gold to press W.
It does not. But gold does help because then you get more cooldown reduction and you can press W more often. So then you have more chances at good ones.
You got me. But APA going to be pushing down here on this bottom side, just trying to work away at this tower. We can see this replay one more time.
Yeah, so as you say, you know, he's hugging the wall coming down, and UmTi just wants to use this giant lead. So he's like, as soon as I see somebody, I'm going to go in. And Impact was trying to follow up on the play, so that's why he was just walking straight through. But nice little shot there. Boink. Full accuracy. I think he's hit every Ashe arrow, even the Ashe arrow in mid lane that did not result in a kill or anything.
There you go.
Accurate.
Second one did. Scaling. Nicely done. And yeah, I think they wouldn't have actually even died had Impact not picked up tower aggro there, but just a little bit of one of those situations where you're walking through a little bit early because you don't expect the Poppy to be there, and you pull aggro. Now another Ashe arrow is going to connect again, and ABA flashes and gets caught regardless. Can Contractz find the angle to send him into the wall? Doesn't even need it. Bvoy has just got a homing missile for an Ashe arrow here. Hits another one, 3 for 3. The last two have gotten kills. This one gets a flash as well.
Hawkeye over here gets one and got the flash. Like, that's
That'd be
critical.
the worst superhero, by the way. You could like be invisible or invincible, and this guy just like shoots an arrow.
So I need confirmation. Is Hawkeye actually a superhero, or is he just a regular dude that's very accurate?
A guy with a bow.
Yeah, or is like his superpower that he's so accurate?
I don't actually know. I always kind of saw him as a superhero. But like, man, that's a rough deal.
We could call that like a mediocre power.
Yeah.
How about
he's not that super?
He is a hero, but he's like a mediocre hero. Yep. Anyways, dragon fight.
TP coming in here from Fudge. We'll see if they can get a Hex Flash. Getting threatened from Contractz. Not going to go over the wall. Seos getting chunked down so heavily. Great equalizer across 4 members from TL, but they're able to get out of it quickly. They do secure the dragon. Now can they get away? UmTi's going to go in. He's going to get knocked out of it and shut down by Bvoy. Great job interrupting the dash and bursting down UmTi before he can get into the W. This is a series of good plays here from Shopify, and now with the dragon, it is really feeling like a bit of a comeback.
UmTi saw Rivers' Naafiri play earlier, where he was just ulting in and instantly jumping out or instantly using the W, and thought he was going to pull that off. But if you hit the Naafiri as they're coming in, then they can't dodge the aftermath. Like, it's only after the ult hits, then you're able to outplay. But here's another look at it. So the Rumble ultimate gets them so much room here. Fudge and Palafox push them off. Contractz is able to push UmTi away from the dragon. Then they peel back to the dragon to get their objective. And here's a look at it. So the interrupt does come from Seos with the Q on Alistar, and then Palafox, wham, bam, double hammers there from him and Contractz. They're able to get the kill and just take down this fed Naafiri, and once again chop down on that early lead that they got. But tower,
APA getting wrapped on. We'll see if anyone else is here. He's going to be able to get the tower. A nice knockback, trying to summon up his own passive tower to survive. We'll see if he can do it against Palafox. Palafox trying to chase him down and finish him off, but in comes UmTi. He does get the kill. He will fall, but a nice 1-for-1 there from Palafox. It does cost him his flash, though. On the other side, we'll see if Shopify do want to try to force this Herald. They're definitely thinking about it.
Yeah, they have numbers for a very small window here, and it looks like they are still going to use the extra numbers to start up the objective because UmTi is split pushing in. Naafiri wants solo tower gold here. UmTi wants to retake the throne of being mega fed.
Later died, I'll do it myself.
There you go. I mean, they got the first turret, and they're going to be able to get secondary one. This one is just really, really big for individual gold.
Contractz can't do this, though. He has no one helping him at all, and Impact's coming in. Now the teleport going to be coming in to join here from Palafox. Palafox, has he gone too far with that TP? Not going to be jumped on as he does arrive, and Shopify should be able to grab this and get out.
Gotta leave
TL
quickly, though.
Trying to do something about it, but just can't actually find any exit kills here. They weren't really on the same page. They did get the tier 2 bot, though, and that is a lot of gold. You can see their gold lead back up to almost 3K. As Seoul gets incredibly low there, we'll be able to limp away to safety. But TL are pushing mid lane now, too.
So CoreJJ keeps turning into the big dog. He keeps turning into actual UmTi, but I want to see him turn into the mini dog. Like
Let's be the pack leader, you know?
Yeah. So the only problem with that strat is like, if the enemy team already knows the Naafiri is fed, then they're probably not going to get tricked.
Oh, nice sidestep. A Contractz going over the wall and going to get the stun onto CoreJJ. I don't think he has a way out of this one. Contractz, tough start, but able to battle back here. 2-1-2 now on the Poppy, finding some really good plays as it's a great punish onto CoreJJ.
It certainly is. Let's see. Bvoy too, again, still, it's like he's artillery from the middle of the map.
This could be tough. Yeon does have the killer instinct, so if Impact can land any CC onto Fudge, Fudge is likely to fall, but Yeon is saying, you know what, I can't actually spend the time because mid lane is already having that wave crash, so they call off the play. Fudge is able to recall. Shopify pushing on the other side of the map and do have the wave crashing mid, so Shopify moving around the map here very well. As Palafox again gets some more chip damage onto APA, but UmTi is here, and as is CoreJJ, so Shopify have got to be respectful of the power that they still have.
Yeah, especially because the deep wards in their jungle do see Bvoy over there on like the half rotation, so they know he's pretty far away right now. The Ashe arrow not back up yet from the previous play, so they don't have that one to come through, and TL on the push back, they're actually going to be the ones with the priority to force another tower. So while Shopify get close on some objectives there and they get the tower low, TL keep getting a lot of tower gold very, very quickly here. It was outer bottom, secondary bottom, now outer top as well. And that's doing a lot to fund this gold lead that you see on screen.
Absolutely. Bvoy doing well, though, is the one with a slight gold lead here for his team. You can see the opportunity was that first item there for Palafox and now has that Muramana completed, so going to be definitely ramping up the poke damage here. But APA also finishing his Landry, so a lot of key items now coming through as we're kind of hitting that 20-minute mark, and a lot of these champions are completing their second one.
Yep, getting a little dicey here as the Hex Tech Dragon will arrive. Early arrival, definitely huge benefits here to TL, especially if they get CoreJJ in place first. The tricky Neeko, and it looks like they're going to fight over the crab first. They do get the smite win. UmTi there gets smite win originally. Contract's pretty close, and the rest of the squad here revealed.
It looks like Contractz is going in towards that Force of Nature second. Shopify posturing pretty aggressively here with the Herald, but we haven't talked much about the AD carries. Yeon has just been so incredible for TL throughout Split 1 as well as Split 2, and Bvoy on the other side, also a real threat, someone that gets a lot of credit from his competitors, from the other pros in the league. And these two guys are definitely threats to take over the game, even though it has been a relatively quiet early game. You've always got to respect the skill that these two players have.
Yeah, especially with the accuracy of the Ashe arrows so far. I don't think we've seen Bvoy miss one yet. Impact on the bottom side.
Impact looking here for Fudge. Fudge going to be able to overheat, though, and Bvoy's coming in. Impact's now sectioned off from the rest of the team. Impact going to flash away, but Fudge is there to follow. He's stunned up, and he is knocked down. APA pushing for the tier 2 mid. I think TL have just got to bail out. UmTi is pretty far up here, but he is by himself, and Palafox is liking his odds in this fight. You can see that CoreJJ as well as Yeon are on the side, but they do lose the tier 2 mid for it. So it is still an extension of that gold lead, even though Impact dies, and it is the Dragon going to Shopify.
Yeah, I mean, TL, they still, like you say, get the towers here. They're getting so much tower gold in this game so quickly. And secondary Dragon doesn't do a whole lot for you right now, so it's really going to be about, can Shopify get some sort of kill, some sort of pick for themselves. Another good Ashe arrow or something like that to try and even up. Wait a second.
APA is here. Can they actually find the play? UmTi's getting CC chained so much, but he's going to try to get out of there. We'll see if he can actually do it. The equalizer gets dropped, but not really the right way. And at the same time, APA knocks down Contractz. He was just free firing the whole time with the lethal tempo Azir. They kind of overcommit onto UmTi, but at the same time, Palafox takes down the tier 1 and he's pushing on the tier 2 bot.
Exactly. They're doing this WoW split pushing. So Otacon will be the focus for Team Liquid. Palafox has teleport on the Jayce. He wants to finish bottom tower first, then we'll see.
Oh, Bvoy in a lot of trouble. Yeon goes in with the killer instinct. In comes Impact. Can he get the follow to take him down? Can't quite do it. Doesn't have the flash because of that earlier dragon play. It is going to mean, though, Otacon should go their way as UmTi just slowly but surely knocking this down. As long as you're actually dodging out on the abilities, Otacon does very little to you, but you can't afford to tank these abilities because they are really punishing. You just dodge the orbs, and then for the GA, you step outside of that kind of AoE zone. They do get an eyes on it right at the very end, but not before it is knocked down. And now the GAs have been claimed by TL.
All right, let's see how they can use them, because there is not going to be a large neutral objective on the map for another minute and a half here in the Baron, and they're going to have to force something. I think, Contractz and Palafox versus Team... Wait a second.
Palafox in a lot of trouble now, trying to retreat back, but Bvoy nails another arrow here. Core going to be blocked for there by UmTi, but Palafox and Contractz actually dead even as a duo against TL, which is pretty impressive, because of how strong TL has been over the years. But this duo has really been the core of a number of different rosters now, and when Shopify grabbed them, they were really looking at Contractz as Palafox as these guys that were going to create action, create plays for the team, and so far this game, I think they have been able to do that.
They certainly have. A lot of these comeback plays off of the back of a couple of these, plus the Ashe arrows, of course, but now we're still looking at this Guardian Angel effect, these revives in the hands of Team Liquid. It is very different now. You don't want to just give them away because it still is a substantial amount of gold with the 200 plus the permanent stats that you're going to give over. So you can't be as reckless, but you still do want to force. So you're kind of looking at, will CoreJJ get some sneaky Neeko playoff? Shopify have to be very careful for this next little window on counting minions and looking for any of these pathways, because TL Vision is fully complete coverage right now, and you have to be so scared with the vision coverage of TL plus the Neeko on their team.
Yeah, I mean, when you have those GAs, you don't want to be too crazy, but you do want to be a little crazy, right? Like you want to find exactly just the right amount. Just enough spice there. And as we're touching in on Yeon, who is doing this full AD build that we've already seen from him before, and is kind of catching on quite a bit. It's not still as popular as the Rage Blade and the kind of into the AP, but this full AD build does scale very well, and the Kathian Rain does a ridiculous amount of damage if you can get an isolated Q on someone. You ult into the backline. If they are isolated, they're pretty much just dead. The Q does a ridiculous amount of damage once it is evolved in your full AD. So we'll see if Yeon can find those types of plays later on. Bvoy, as we've already touched on, looking pretty strong, but Contractz is going to get a good chunk here down onto Impact as TL are already on the Baron. They're trying to two-man it here with UmTi and APA. Yeon, though, is in the area. Impact's lost half his health, but TL still are on the Baron. There is vision of it for Shopify. We'll see if they can actually find a way to punish this. CoreJJ on the side does find Fudge, who does have his flashback now, and APA in the middle of everyone scoops him back, and the follow-up is there from TL. The equalizer are going to get dropped to the wall, but it's Yeon into the back line here, cutting them to pieces. Seo's trying to run. Contractz fighting back, doing what he can here. They do take down two, but UmTi is going to chase him, and UmTi wants even more as TL come out way on top here. They've already taken 4, and they're looking for number 5. It's only a matter of time here as Contractz picking up the honey fruit, picking up the passive, trying to survive, but he can't do it. TL get the ace, and they're going to grab the Baron.
They're going to get the Baron, and Impact is also pushing mid lane at the moment, so they're going to open up the base at the exact same time. That fight is everything for Team Liquid. APA Azir is in a new era.
He's always pick Azir.
Yeah, always pick Azir. Perfect acronym for him nowadays. scoops him right into the waiting arms of CoreJJ's first stage game, Neeko here. APA scoops him, CoreJJ boops him. Let's take a look at it. And then
watch it one more time.
UmTi gets to clean them all up because Naafiri has crazy mobility too. But here's a look. Seoul's tried to get the Alistar Q on him as he's going in, but yeah, the huge knockup right into the boot there from CoreJJ and the annihilations. UmTi and Yeon both on these mobile, dangerous champions just get to jump into the back. In the craziness, and then Impact also surviving and going straight for the minions afterwards. So nicely done stuff from TL.
Yeah, that was a really sick engage from APA. Finds it, and the follow-up was perfect. Great engage, really. I mean, and it's so interesting how, you know, we had this one really good Azir game earlier this split, and it feels like it fueled a lot of his confidence, right? To be able to go for these plays, and sometimes that is all you need. You need to see, hey, I can do this. I can find these angles.
Yeah, I like the interview afterwards, too, because Emily asked him about it, and he was like, yeah, you know, I just went to watch a whole bunch of Azir games of legendary mid laners, and then I got it. I guess.
Locked in.
You watch a bunch of Faker replays and stuff, and
crack the code.
Then just go ahead and do that.
There you go.
Watch it, then do it.
Yep.
Perfect.
That's the Korean advice. Just get good.
Yeah.
How do you win this matchup? Well, you hit all your skill shots and you dodge all theirs, and then you tend to win.
You got to go scoop the enemies while either surviving or sacrificing yourself for many other members.
There you go. Sounds pretty simple. Don't know why everyone doesn't do that. As UmTi's going to be jumping in on Fudge. Does have a massive gold lead and is able to enforce his will on Fudge, pushing him back. Impact knocks down the tier 2, extending the gold lead to 9.3k. Absolutely insane. As the 6 Grubs going to make short work of these towers. They're pushing in all 3 waves right now. The Ashe does connect, but it's just on Impact, and he is so damn tanky. Not sure they can really do anything about this. They do get him down to about a quarter HP, but Contractz losing a lot of his health as well, and they've lost the mid lane turret. They lost the mid lane inhibitor, and now there's a wave coming in through bot that is likely going to mean the end of that tower. This is looking like a very easy triple inhib here for TL, unless Shopify can find an angle to go right now.
Yeah, and the angle is not looking good. It is closing quickly here.
Yeah, we're going to see if they can find something here on UmTi. UmTi getting chunked down, but UmTi is still very strong and trying to kite out. In comes the Galio ultimate to back him up, and UmTi's just going to turn and he's going to fight. The equalizer gets dropped. Bvoy trying to find something here, but the taunt lands, and in comes Yeon with the killer instinct. APA not able to find that ulti, though, as Palafox flashes out of it. Still, though, TL too strong, fighting through here. UmTi going back in off the reset. Fudge trying to clear out the way. Seoul standing, trying to survive, but it's just not looking like it's going to be enough. The Grubs are spawning out here. Maybe they can hold for a little bit longer because they got APA and because they got Yeon, but they're still going to lose the triple inhib here, and it's going to be so hard to come back. Great W does immune the knockup there from Seoul, but then he's going to get grounded. Fudge, though, just can't get in range, and Impact is closing in. They've got to try to get out. Seoul has no ultimate, is creating a little bit of a space. We'll get back to the fountain here to try to heal back up, and Bvoy's going to be up in 12, so TL will back off. Shopify do hold, but they are holding on to the tatters of a ruined base.
Yeah, and I think Naafiri's looking very good this weekend as well. There was some discussion, you know, not broken anymore after the nerfs. Still looking quite powerful, and UmTi is having a very fun time on it. You see how much healing is coming through, too, with the Death Dance and the fully stacked Conquer, and he wants another piece.
Yep, and he is going to like any fight he can find, pretty much. Level 17. By the way, pretty ridiculous. Highest level in the game, higher than either team's solo laners at this point.
Yeah. We'll say Yeon got really hyped in that last play. You know, he Kai'Sa, you know, killer instincts in, and then he finds himself in the middle of all the other enemies and just instantly gets knocked up.
What's that minion doing there?
Taken down. Well, it's getting Harpoon in it and getting a little snare back. Just waiting for the rest of the minions so they can go finish the Nexus turrets
That's
here.
where minions are at their strongest, you know? That's a pack.
Yeah, exactly.
You're rarely taken down by just one
Especially
minion.
when they got the big brother super minions
When they start
coming.
swarming like this, though, they are not to be trifled with. We'll see if Shopify can even clear out the waves. The Hurricane going to help. Great stasis there. Immunes the Ashe arrow coming through. As Impact does buffer the taunt, just kind of stopping any threat of that engage here. CoreJJ on the side side as a minion. We'll see if he can find an angle. The towers are starting to go down, though. They need to look for it right now. APA is the target, but they can't find him. In comes the equalizer, but it's not doing anything. Fudge in the backline, trying to survive, gets back to the fountain. Contractz on the other side, trying to put pressure onto Yeon, but Yeon is standing, Yeon is firing, Yeon goes in with the killer instinct, and it's 2 kills for TL, and it's looking like it's going to be even more. Yeon gets a double, Yeon gets another as they ace him on the steps of the base. TL finish the job, take down Shopify.